Hi, I'm Lars from Leader Insider. In the next 40 minutes or so, we are going to talk about the golden nuggets, the greatest insight I've got from the book The Essential Drunkard. This is actually the second episode because it has so many valuable stuff in it that I need to talk about it really much more. And the greatest thing for you is you don't need to read through the whole thing because in 80%, 20% of the time you might most likely to get 80% of the results. So I know there are so many summaries out there, and I consider they're like most likely part of the own thinking of okay, this is the principles those books are held into, but I don't I don't get it right away because did not read the whole book, and this is where I want you to hook up because hey, I want to understand those principles with some interesting stories and how they changed anything. So the interesting thing is that tactics might change, but and strategies also, but principles stay most likely the same. Don't forget, at the end of the video, I'm going to share a secret link where you're gaining insights about where you can download these free PDF to have these insights, these greatest principles from this book at hand, every and anywhere you want to read them again. So I know there are distractions like your mobile phone, cell phone. Put it off, put it aside, because when you're reading a good book, what you do, just you throw your handy away, but don't if you're actually on your phone right now. So you're wondering why I'm qualified, why I talk about it. It's like, hey, every book I read, I I'm really passionate about reading it whole a lot and reading it 3 4 times because the more I read it, the more I repeat it, the more likely I'm to actually use this knowledge. Knowledge is not power. Utilization triumphs over knowledge every single day of the week. So I read through every book 4 times, and every time I make these little asterisks. So these are the greatest things I considered from this book. And the second thing is that only 10% of people, I know you're not one of them. I did, certainly never bought a book and did not read it. So last but not least, we need to imagine, we need just to imagine, hey, what would it cost me if I didn't read this book? If this book has the answers I'm looking for, otherwise I wouldn't be attracted to the book title. So when I'm in my rocking chair, 80 years old, I personally would regret it actually not producing these videos. Like you're looking at the videos before I did, and they were like horrible. And don't call me up with this, but this is part of the journey, I believe. So let's get right started. The computer is a logic machine, and this is strength, but also its limitation. So this is something right now, because it's a really old book, is not longer a thing or a principle we could live by because of all these AI, KI, like ChatGPT, and yeah, they are most likely logical, but they start to learn by themselves, by their self logic. Yes, in it's like in ChatGPT also. I'm using it every day in my work. Input equals output. If you don't have the right prompt up front, if you're using like, hey, write me a text about a blue butterfly, about a story about, I'm doing keyword focused stuff on Google, and just write me a text about this keyword. Okay, but if you're more specific from ChatGPT, you're like, write me a text about this keyword, analyze first the top 10 competitors, what they write on the pages. Then secondly, create out of these texts the most essential parts, and then write a text that's even better or hooks people even more. And on top of that, write some great headlines that will hook people. Hmm. This might be a better prompt than just write a text about this keyword. So yeah, it has limitations. ChatGPT need help, but this is also we don't we should really use it because it helps us much more than it does harm. Yeah, it might take away jobs, but if these jobs are gone, the person who lost his job gains an opportunity, I believe. The opportunity to educate himself to get a higher level, higher quality of job. So the limitations are clear. Hey, ChatGPT can only produce something we we tell him to. He's not thinking on himself right now. Effectiveness, in other words, is a habit. So we human beings are creatures of habits. Hey, it's like if you're exercising for 18 months, it becomes an addictional habit because you're putting all out there in your brain when you're exercising, when you're a runner. You're these euphoric, you might know the runner's high if you're a runner. All these biochemical stuffs, and this is really really pleasing, but you need to push beyond the pain to actually get through the habit. Hold your principles to 100% to actually form a habit. If you're so we want to be effective in our daily doings, and to be effective means to have the right kinds of habits, like using procrastination and don't let it use you. So an example would be, oh, I really want to go to Macca's, McDonald's or Burger King, or some fast food, and then I use procrastination. I'm doing it tomorrow. But on the other hand, oh, I really should, um, I really should do this video. I'm here creating this PDF file. I'm doing it now, not tomorrow. So use it. Don't let it use you. An effective habit. The effective person focuses on contribution. So we're human beings, and there's actually a really interesting study that was published. It's called the let me lie, the baby syndrome. Also it's basically a study where they gave a baby no physical love. They gave him something to eat, something to drink, but no physical love. Within about a few months, a few weeks, the babies died. We human beings need love, need contribution from other beings so we can survive. And if you focus on contributing, you have much more than you could ever dream about. Because I believe that everything you give comes back tenfold. The former director was writing for us. Your new man is writing at us. So if you're communicating to people and you're communicating with them in a way, hey, they're under me and they need to listen to me, and this needs to happen, and so on. No one will respond. Nowadays we have the opportunity, the choice to, we're the knowledge worker. We as workers in an enterprise, in a business, when they lose us, they're fucked. Not the worker himself. They lose the knowledge about what the worker knows about his company and what he's doing. yeah, they can compensate by a new man, but how long does it take to really get him to the right fit of the position? So yeah, people nowadays are not as stupid. They want to, you really, like, communication from down to top does not work, and also top down to communication does not work. Communicate at the same level. Communicate with your people, not to your people. When I ask people, how do you learn? Most of them know, but when I ask, do you act on this knowledge? Few reply that they do. Like I told at the beginning, act upon what you know. This is the most crucial step we can take. So this is actually something I did. I did like immediately. Oh. Where well, read this question, I was like, I'm the type of guy who really learns by hearing things and writing them down. How did I learn in the past? I read them and I read them over and over again because this is how school teach me to just read the stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere with this. So, but the interesting part is I really knew, hey, I just need to hear it and write it down, that I actually remember the stuff. But there was another crucial factor that really hindered me from going after this. This was for a vocabulary test in English. There were like 40 vocabularies, and I was always really bad at it. And there I was, read through the whole list, wrote it down, the translation to really get it inside my head, didn't remember a thing. Then I read it again, didn't remember a thing. And again and again, and it's like the fourth time or the fifth time I wrote everything down. I repeated it in my head for 40 times, and I didn't remember anything. So what was the problem? If I'm sitting like this here, yeah, let's learn those vocabularies. hmm hmm Then I write. What's the problem? And let me give you another example. Do you know, as you might have or had a significant others? Isn't it really interesting that can we know what they did 4 years ago and what they said there in the exact same words, but I don't, and I only told it me once, but I don't remember these freaking vocabularies. What's the problem? The problem is the emotional intensity. So any knowledge with emotion is powerfully retained. I didn't have any emotions. I was just bored doing it. And because I was bored, I had to study longer because I didn't remember. So if you really want to remember what you're learning, attach some strong emotions to it, like passion or love. Since the knowledge worker directs himself, he must understand what achievement it is expected of him and why. First of all, know your outcome. Know what you're doing and what you're doing it for. So, uh, like smart goals. So it should be specific, measurable. You know the drill. But also know your why. Like Nietzsche said, the person who has a strong enough why can be almost any how. And this is what we really want to consider. When for example, I'm creating this YouTube video. Why? Why do I want to create a YouTube video? Because I want to have a follower base. Why do I want to have a follower base? To make money? Yeah, this is one of the reasons. Okay, another reason is okay, I want to contribute. Just for me personally, helping one soul, giving one person a better life out of these videos makes everything worth it. So, yeah, this is a really strong why. Another why is to create a community of likely minded people, of people who want to be a leader. A leader is not someone who a leader is not someone who is just a manager or someone in corporation. A leader, as stupid as it sounds, is a mother, is a father. They lead their children, they lead themselves. But most organizations are overmanaged but unled. You want to, you don't want to micromanage or not manage at all. You want to find the right amount of chunks, so of groupings things together. It's like you're doing marketing. You're my marketing guy. Just do marketing. It's like, okay, yeah, I know I should be doing marketing, but what's your especially situation? Where do you want to go? What targets are we after? And you know your corporation, you know your business much better than I do. So, on which channels should we focus on? Should we go on YouTube? Should we go on social media? Should we go on Instagram or business social media or Reddit or blogs, or should we do it offline? But don't overmanage. You don't want to micromanage. Hey, you're going to make social media LinkedIn post. You're going to create a headline, a story about this headline that's compelling, and this needs to have this variable and so on and so on. And it's like, man, I studied this shit. I know all about it. You don't need to tell me. Do you think I'm stupid? Okay, if you think I'm stupid, I will do stupid things. So know your why. Know your why you're managing, why you're creating it. And the next one is a banger for me. As a rule, meetings should never be allowed to become the main demand on the knowledge worker's time. Time is the scarcest resource, and unless it is managed, nothing else can be managed. So, the only resource we all have in common is time. We all have 24 hours a day. And if you don't manage your time, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So it's like Kenneth Blanchard, one of the greatest managers out there, said that every hour he uses for planning, he really gets back several hours. If I plan myself today, like my whole day, and I plan it out specifically for an hour, how many times will I save these small mini 5 minutes to figure out what to do next? I personally believe it's several hours if I don't plan my day. And so I plan my week to plan my day to get it effective and efficient. So manage your time. This is like, hey, if you're starting a new corporation, most of the time I'm creating a video about this later because this is what took us bankrupt. So stay tuned. Most of the time, new corporations don't manage them properly. So then they will go down. Existing corporations that does not innovate go down. Okay. Everyone can make the wrong decision. In fact, everyone will sometimes make a wrong decision. Yeah. Hey, we are humans. We need to make decisions. A decision must be based upon not I know everything, but based upon I know enough, like 80-90%, to make an effective decisions. Otherwise, I won't make any. And if I don't make one, I make one to stay in stagnation. And So other people will decide. If I don't plan my time, if I don't schedule my time, other people will schedule my time. Other people will get hold of my time. Half a loaf is better than no bread. Half a baby is worse than no baby at all. So Peter, Mr. Drucker, I would say, talks here about more of, okay, half a loaf is still a bread. Okay, if I'm getting a customer and only he's like paying only half of the price because this is what you do. He wants to get the best price and you want to get the highest price. He's still a customer and you can convert him into new ones. But if you're having like it's like, hey, you're having no customer at all. It's like, hey, I'm not giving you a customer. I give you only from a customer an appointment. This is no customer. I want customers and no not appointments. Auftrag. Let me look it up. Sorry. A contract. If I don't get a contract from my, if I only get a contract from my supposed customer, from his customer, and not, this was a story I was involved with recently. He said to me, hey, for me, you're getting a customer, and the only thing you need to do is to give me one of your things for free. I was like, okay, this is what we can do because I can convert this customer into more sales if I made the first thing. And this is a great deal. Also, this is a bad deal for me because I have twice the work for one customer, for one payment. But hey, fuck it. But then he changed up the rules. He said, no. I give you a contract and no customer. And I'm like, yeah, but this is only half a baby. So it's worse than having no baby at all because I'm getting drained by you and these customers and also drained by like everything and can't even convert it. It's fucking disgusting. So not that he distrusts. So the next thing is really interesting. The story also. Not that he distrusts the subordinate, he has learned from experiences to distrust communications. So it's like, okay, we all have subordinates, we all need to communicate with other people, but how often in life, and it's really like daily, do you communicate something and the person gets it into the wrong, in Germany, in den falschen Hals bekommen. It's a saying, in the wrong throat. It's like they're hearing it and think, hey, this is one thing, but not the other. So this trust communication, hey, maybe your boss, your chef, communicates in a way that's better written down. So trust more written down words from your advisor and not his words foremost. Every decision is like surgery. It's an intervention into a system and therefore carries with it the risk of shock. So this is really interesting because if we decide not to go anymore in one direction and change it up just a tiny bit, if I'm deciding, okay, right now I'm heading through this course, but earlier, like 1 year earlier, I decided one small minute thing to change up my course, like 1% in this direction. The course will go here instead of here. So we need to decide really particularly, really not spontaneously, but with enough evidence, but not too much because of the 80-20 principles. If you're looking for too much evidence, you're likely to not decide at all, and then the time has gone by. And in today's society, time is scarce. Time really is scarce. there are sound waves, but there's no sound as someone perceives it. Sound is created by perception. This is it's the old example. If a tree in a forest falls down and to the ground and creates sound, but no one's there that actually hear it. Did a tree make a sound? No, because sound is only perceived. And the interesting thing is, even if we would be communicating right now in one room, and I tell you these things, these words you're hearing right now, are also only the past because they passed my lips, and there are stupid as it sounds, from the past, and they're not in our now right now. The executive should begin to find out what subordinates want to know, are interested in, are in other words receptive to. So we need hierarchical structures. We need someone who's above us. And I'm right now currently creating my own business, and this is a really great insight because, okay, yeah, I'm the head of company, but if my subordinates, once I have one, are there and they don't know what whose word should I really trust or what should I do, it's like we're having here another company that has three um, execute three CEOs, I would say, and everyone has different meaning what their people should do, and then they go in these all directions and nothing gets done right. Yeah, because they have so many different directions. So we really need to consider, hey, there's only one person that has the last word. If the ship goes down, the captain does not call a meeting. He gives... It's not good, not knowing this word. He gives orders, yes, orders. So, sorry for this. So communications have to be upward. Yeah, the subordinate needs to communicate with the higher ones, but at least at the basic level, if the higher person communicates to the subordinate, because otherwise it won't work. The first is simply not to try to be clever. Don't diversify, don't splinter, don't try to do too many things at once. Finally, don't try to innovate for the future. Innovate for the present. So, it was like one of the greatest things I really read in this book that helped me to understand why we were so struggling in the other business we created together as a team. Hey, we were trying to do marketing, programming, process automation. We're making process automation for e-commerce, for others, not only for stores but only website automation. Then suddenly we created a corporate identity. Then we created cards like marketing, business cards like the one you hand over, then brochures. It's like we did everything and nothing well. So don't try to be clever. Yes, we can all do this stuff, but I will focus on just one thing and do it exceptionally, outstanding. And then this is like marketing 101. Marketing is really... Marketing basically is attract the clients you want and pull away those you don't want. It's like in a relationship, if you're looking for a partner, hey, I want a woman that has these specific attributes, or when you're a woman, you want a man that has these specific attributes. And if he doesn't, what do you say? Thank you. Next. So, above all, they require a habit of continual learning. It's like, what are you doing right now? If you're still here, if you're still listening to me, and I hope you are, and not just letting it run passively and doing other bullshit like playing video games or so on. And we want the habit of continual learning because we are in a knowledge society, but not anymore. We are oversaturated with knowledge. There's so much out there that we don't know, okay, what should I learn next? What should I do right now? We are no longer an information society. We really are in an attention society. The greatest marketers out there are paid to get your attention. So they have tactics, they have tools to gain your attention. But we need to really consider, okay, there's some crucial things to know and some things that are not this important to get to know. But not only knowing, but actually doing. It is only the organization that can provide the basic continuity that knowledge workers need to be effective. So I personally have a problem with copywriting. So I'm creating a corporation around it. The first person I'm going to hire is a copywriter because this is a weakness, and a corporation is there to increase your strengths and decrease your weaknesses. This is why it's so important. But this is really another story I want to tell about later. But basically, to say it really simple, I really thought, okay, this is my weakness. First of all, what's a weakness really? A weakness is not something you're good or bad at. A weakness is something you don't like doing. A strength is something you enjoy doing, and you don't need to be great at it at first. But because you enjoy it, you get great at it. So my weakness is writing. I really don't like it. I'm producing videos. But at the start, I said to myself, oh, I need to get good at writing and videos. This is easy and this is what I'm doing. But I was bad at both. So I tried to learn writing and it went horribly. And I was like, created my first blog article. And we're like, oh, finally, it's over. But on every YouTube video, I'm like, let's go to the next one. I think, therefore I am. I see, therefore I am. Last words I marked from his book, and this is really something to consider. Thinking and seeing, and I am. Who's the I? These are really interesting questions I want to leave you open with to really get thinking about it yourself. So, I just got it nearly down in the comments below. You can download this week's PDF, or you can just type in the link. It's like flowfulfunnel.com/golden-nugget-show. You need to consider that only the actual episodes, only the actual link from these insights are available. The from the previous episodes are no longer available. So you need to just, if you don't only want to read them, you can only go to the website once a week, every Friday, to download it for you. So, thanks.